Welcome back, friends, to another reading for the collective. Happy April. First reading of April. We got a full moon coming up, so there's a lot of potential in the energy. So let's see what we get into. As always, I offer these not as fortune telling, but just different ways of looking at a situation or an emotion or something that's up for your life. I post these every Tuesday and Thursday, but whenever you find this, that you can trust that the energy, the information, what's being revealed is relevant to you. So we'll begin as we always do. If there is something in your mind or in your heart that you would like more guidance or more insight into, I invite you to tune into that space. And in a moment, I'll invite us to take 3 deep breaths in through the nose into that space and breathing out, letting there be a hum or a sound or a sigh or something that allows that feeling, that emotion to escape from you. So, holding that intention, holding that thought in your mind and breathing in and exhaling. 2 more times, breathing in and out. And last time, breathing in and out. All right. So, like I said, we got a full moon coming up. It's the first reading of April. And from everything that I've seen, April's going to be a big month. All the planets are direct until the end of April. So, there's a lot of opportunities here for forward movement, forward growth. And that's supported by it being springtime. The Aries season is upon us. The year of the fire horse is in full swing. And the one card that's come out here, do any other cards want to come out, or do we want to start with that? There we go. Okay. And even though this card came out first, the fact that this one came up face up leads me to want to start with that. And we can always change this as we go, but this seems to be suggestive of the energy of right now, the energy of what you're moving from or moving into. And like we said, with all the planets being direct and the full moon, we've got the moon here. Oh, moon here. Even though it's an eclipse here in the card, we can still see this is pointing to the moon and its cycles. And the Eight of Cups is a person walking away from a situation that has been bountiful, that has been fulfilling, but understanding, and in this case, understanding that it's time to move on to something different. Not because the situation they were in is bad or wrong, or that they are bad or wrong, or like any kind of judgment about it. It's just that it's time to move on. And this is happening to a lot of folks, whether it's where they are on their own journey or just tired of repeating the patterns or these loops that they've been seemingly trapped in. They are stepping outside of that. They are breaking the patterns and they are realizing that they can, in fact, move beyond it. I like to think of the Eight of Cups as a precursor to the Hermit. This could be someone at the very beginning of their spiritual awakening, healing journey, whatever word you want to ascribe to that, ready to go within and see what else is available to them. This is the person who is tending or learning to tend their inner sacred flame, to hearing that call, to hearing that small, still voice speaking to them beneath all of the chaos and the cacophony of the world. And what are they moving into? Ha! Their intuition. And this is very apt with the full moon coming up because we have the full moon here in this I want to say this is the triple goddess, but it suggests the waxing and the waning moon and the full moon in the center. And yeah, I mean this is required for this journey. And in fact, we could say that it is the energy of the High Priestess that calls us out of our everyday hut, to use a term from the monomyth and Joseph Campbell's work. It is this goddess, this inner knowing, this intuitive whisper that invites us out of what we've known into where we're going. Yeah, a lot of moon imagery here, even at her feet there is the moon. So I don't know what I'm being called to this one for, but I am being called to this one. Maybe this will show us some kind of activity that we can do with the full moon. So I like to say that the energies of the full moon or the new moon or any of these kinds of astrological energies are available to us 2 or 3 days before and after the event. So when you find this, this will be suited for the full moon that's coming up, which I believe is in Libra, if you follow Western astrology. But this is my intention is to find a ritual or some kind of thing that you can do whenever you find this, to take a few moments to reflect on where you've been and what it is that's calling you out of that. Do we mirror it? Yeah. Nothing wants to come out yet? All right, so the inclination I'm getting here is that we might want to see kind of a forecast of where we're going. Like I said, it's the Libra full moon, so Libra is all about balance, kind of balancing the material and the spiritual, which has come up in plenty of the recent readings, which you can check out there. But what's there it is. Okay. Four of Swords, interesting, very interesting here. We have 8, 2, and 4. 8 divided by 2 is, of course, 4. Four of Swords, it's not death, as might be suggested, but it's rest. It's allowing ourselves the permission to rest, to turn off the mind and listen for these intuitive nudges, listening to the soft, still voice speaking to us. And at the time of recording this, we've got Easter coming up, and it's interesting that this is kind of in a church, and we've even got here images of someone, maybe Jesus, maybe a saint, offering a healing or a blessing to the kneeling patron here. So let me just look at this here for a second and recontextualize this. Yeah, you're being called by that intuition to rest and do less, to use the term from human design. This doesn't mean to be lazy. It doesn't mean to stop cleaning behind your ears kind of thing. It's just inviting more opportunities into your life to hear the stillness, spend time meditating. So maybe we don't need a symbol to talk about that, but is there anything that wants to come out of this? Why was I drawn to this? Is it for me? Is it for them? What needs to come out? What needs to be known? Can you show us, please, what it is? What it is. Like I said, I post these readings every Tuesday and Thursday. So if you found yourself here on a Tuesday or Thursday, hello. If you found yourself here on any of the other days of the week, I'm happy that you're here as well. This is timeless information, even though. Is it YouTube? Is it YouTube? Okay. This is timeless information, even though I am speaking about what's happening astrologically. All right. So what are we moving into? Taurus. So we have guides 7 and water 18 reduces to 9. And yeah, there's this idea of water here and the element of water here. Cups, also the element of water. There's a lot of water associated with the High Priestess. If you can see, oops, if you can see behind her veil, there is water. This is the idea of the collective unconscious that we all share, that that we can pull from at any time. So this is just kind of suggesting that in those moments of stillness, of presence, that your guides are available to you. And with water, there are a bunch of different ways that you can work with water. There have been plenty of studies that have shown that water is able to absorb the energy and the intention that we put into it. So maybe, here's something that I do. Every time before I take a sip of my first coffee or my first tea, I will breathe in the aroma of it. And then as I'm breathing out, I'll say something like, as I drink this coffee or tea, I will fall more and more in love with me. And I take that first sip and I feel it coming into me, feeling that love radiating out from me. There are also different techniques of drinking water right before you go to bed with the intention to remember your dreams, and drinking that water first thing in the morning when you wake up to trigger the memory of those dreams. So there's a lot of different ways that you can work with water to connect with your guides, to connect with the stillness. And maybe it is just setting a glass of water in front of you when you're meditating and sending that energy into it. And a great thing to do with the full moon is to leave out a glass of water to charge it with the energy of the moon. Leave it out overnight outside if you can, but on a windowsill is fine. And make sure it's a glass or a whatever the vessel is. Make sure it has a lid so that when you wake up, you can put the lid on it. Ideally, before the sun gets into it, but we don't have to be super particular about this kind of practice. Uh, and with it being the Libra full moon, double check that because I might be making that up. With it being that moon, you can think about the ideas of balance, of fairness, of righteousness, and all those other Libra themes. You might want to write that down on a piece of paper, the kind of intention that you want to work with, how you want to work with those Libra energies. Place that underneath the glass or the container of water so that we can imagine that the moon is charging up the water with that intention of balance, we'll say, underneath of it. And you can even speak that, hold the glass right before you place it on the window. At the end of the night, I invite balance to permeate every molecule of this water. And as I drink this or bathe in this or whatever you want to do with it, I will be taking that balance into my life, into my system. You can also use the full moon water to charge up your crystals. Make sure that it's not a crystal that would dissolve in the water. I'm not smart enough to say which ones should or should not be placed in water. I just know that selenite shouldn't, and like I don't know if it's a gypsum or whatever it is that makes it dissolve in water. Just make sure it's a something a little more solid than selenite. You can also put that on top of the water, or if it's a thin stone like this, you could place the water on top of that. I almost remembered the name of that. Just put it near it. Have fun with it. It doesn't have to be so prescriptive. Spirituality does not have to be as rigid and dogmatic as religion. That's what makes it fun. But yeah, your guides are available to you. And maybe even the High Priestess is one of your guides, inviting you to step into that divine feminine. Not in a gendered kind of way, but as in an energetic kind of way. The energy of allowing yourself to receive, to rest, to be blessed by all that is available. Bring it on home, Hafiz. What do you got for us and the folks at home? It's you, right? Anything else? Okay. Eager today. Oh my goodness. Do we want all these? There it is. Ask for help. 23. Right with the guides there. 23 reduces to 5. And I'm going to leave these unflipped to just kind of suggest all of the help that is available. Let's read what 23 has to say. Ask for help. Inherent in looking up at the sky, or out upon an ocean, or at a small stream, or upon a flower, is in a real saying, help me be as beautiful as you. Very interesting. Before I even read that, the references here: an ocean, a small stream, plenty of water being reinforced there. We struggle as a culture with vulnerability, believing it makes us weak. But there is a magic in letting people see our humanity, our need. Open up the possibility to be met and aided in marvelous new ways. You are not required to do it all. In fact, doing it all strips your essence bare and limits the essential kindness that others desperately need to express. The alchemy of creative synergy can be found in this simple recipe: offer what you can and ask for what you need. Oh, and even here, this character's hanging out by the water. Hmm. Offer what you can and ask for what you need. All right. My curiosity is getting the better of me. Study to know yourself. Something else you can do. I'm not going to read all these, but study to know yourself. 7, 25. Only with stillness can you really know yourself. 41, transform. What we've got kind of going on here. Take stock of your achievements, referenced here. Retreat, referenced here. So Hafiz, as always, bringing the wisdom that we need to close these out. Always love seeing Hafiz here. And Yeah, all of Hafiz's wisdom is speaking to these messages that we see right here. Take stock of your achievements, study to know yourself, retreat, ask for that help, whether it be from your own intuition or the guides, guardians, and allies that walk with you in the name of complete healing and the highest good on the other side, and allow that to transform you. Just like how water transforms. It's not always water, sometimes it's ice, sometimes it's steam, but it never stops being that which is water. It just takes different forms. Even if you were successful, it doesn't mean that by walking away, you're no longer successful. You're just choosing to study yourself, to transform, to retreat. And that feels complete. So I just want to thank you, as always, for tuning in. 2121, as I'm saying that. Thank you for tuning in. I post these every Tuesday and Thursday. Share this with someone to spread the energy. If you like this, go ahead and give it a like. If you're enjoying these, go ahead and subscribe. Who cares? It's free, doesn't cost you anything. And always take what is yours, take what resonates, leave the rest for someone else. And like I've said, I post these every Tuesday and Thursday, tapping into the energy of the collective. And until the next time, I wish you nothing but peace, love, and happiness from this day forward. Take care.